JayCast.
3, 2, 1, go.
JayCast.
Hello everybody and welcome to JayCast, where there's games, guests, and two guys with big headphones. How you doing today, Eddie?
I'm doing swell. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. As you guys saw, last week we did not have a podcast. That wasn't for any, really stupid reason. It was actually legit. I had finals, and I had to study. I took 4 days to study for my, for one of my math finals. So I had to take a lot of time for that. So my apologize. But anyway, we're back this week, and no one special this week. Just some pretty awesome topics that we're gonna go over.
Yeah, nobody special or anything. Just
you're not special. I mean, you're the co-host here. We're both like crap now. Yeah, it's just crazy to see some of the news that came across this week, huh? Would you say so? Like
big stuff in the gaming industry and community and
overall in the entertainment industry overall, to be honest with you, it was crazy to see. There was a couple things, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But first thing I want to talk about is just a little bit of casual. So, how are you today, Eddie?
I am doing swell.
Good. Been playing any special games today, or at least within this last week, I should say.
I actually got my hands on a copy. Well, that makes it sound like it was hard to get, but I downloaded a copy of the tester, the in development copy of Ocarina of Time 2D.
Really?
It's a fan made version of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, and it's completely two-dimensional, and it's amazing so far. It's really, really well done.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
All of the graphics and music and all of that are taken, all the instruments for the music are the instruments used, the MIDI instruments for A Link to the Past.
Really?
Same thing with the trees and the terrain and all that too.
I hope they don't put that on for sale, because then that would be infringing on Nintendo's copyright. I mean, fan-made game, if it's an indie. I was just gonna say, if it's a free game, then that's totally fine. There is some games, and I forgot to grab that list, and I feel bad. I'll have to remember to bring that up for next podcast. But there's a list of games that have been on my go-to list for which website? Gamejam. There's been some really cool indie games that are coming out. There's one of them that they're making a Minecraft horror game with a really deep story plot to it. It's actually pretty nice graphics. I mean, it's still got the black textured sort of aspect, but it's
got really nice Minecraft graphics.
Actually, that's kind of a good way of describing it, but it's how they did it is what I really like about it overall. And I don't know, I'm pretty excited about that. There's a couple other indie games too, and obviously there was the Indies versus PewDiePie jam recently. Have you gotten a chance to see any of the games that got launched recently?
Not at all.
The only things that I saw, and granted it was just through watching PewDiePie's channel and just seeing what sort of games that he chose. Basically, you can tell that people had a couple days to make this game, and then that was it. I mean, let's face facts. That's what it is, When it comes to free indie games and independent launches, I mean, they're sadly not as amazing as you'd want them to be. I mean, there's always going to be bugs. There's always going to be average graphics, and whatnot. But I'm not going to shoot against them. They made a game. I can't. So
yeah.
I mean, just to basically put it in simple terms, there was obviously there was a couple fan-made games involved, like PewDiePie Simulator and some other things with this dog or whatever his name is, and whatnot. But it was kind of cool that a YouTuber got integrated onto a major indie development site and to make this game jam. I thought it was cool. I thought it was really cool. I think there was about 740 games that were put in to this game jam overall. Yeah, crazy, right? Okay, I see your finger. You can speak.
I'm trying to think of the dog's name.
Edgar. That's what
The
it is.
other one.
Edgar.
The other one.
Felicia. I don't know.
I want to say Maya.
Maya. Yeah. I think it's Maya. I don't know why I don't know why we're talking about that. So let's talk about games that are upcoming and releases. So this one you fangirled about when we talked about potentials for talking in today's podcast. Dying Light.
Oh yeah.
Tell us a little bit about it, Yeti, because apparently you're a big fan person of it. I watched the trailer today, and I was like in love.
It's supposed to be really good. It's I mean, I haven't heard much. I've heard like hearsay here and there, and I've seen 1 or 2 videos about it.
Yeah.
But as far as I really hate anything zombie, like zombie movies, zombie video games. It's just the most beaten down horror concept since horror concept became a thing.
What I think what it is, and in the psychological mindset, and this is my theory of why so many people do zombie games. In the psychological mindset, you know, you want a game where person A is a total tough guy, and he has to go out and just manhandle whatever's in sight. If it's animals, there's going to be people from PETA complaining of the crap to this company. If it's humans, it's just going to be saying, oh, well, this is promoting, you know, violence, domestic violence. You know, that's why I think people integrate to the zombie side, because, I mean, what are you going to make fun of if you blow off the head off of a zombie? You know what I mean? So I think with that, and it's kind of like the typical monster aspect where, you know, it's not like an overpowered monster, but at the same time, it's just like a replacement for a human being. So like if a group of a bunch of people went after you, you know, versus promoting a domestic violence issue or whatever, then it would be contributing toward that. That's why I think that they do zombie, that at least involve zombies in games like that.
Yeah, but like they've got to create some more like there's more things out there you can do besides like take the like we may or may not get into this later, but take the game Evolve for example, where you have to hunt down and kill a specific monster, like you're hunting down a monster, and it's a monster, like it's not a zombie, it's a monster. Yeah. Even though I guess that game's not really a horror game though.
I liked what The Last of Us did, and I guess it's kind of another beaten down topic, but it
actually have not played that yet.
Yeah, if you get a chance to, highly recommend that game. I played it on the PS3 and I loved it, and then I somehow miraculously got a chance to play it on the PS4, and wow, what a change. But
what with just the graphics
not the story, but the graphics. The frame rate was from 30 to 60.
Oh yeah, that's like the
biggest
smooth.
Thing. Textures are amazing. That's what's funny too. There's a lot of topics about, you know, do people like the 30 frames or the 60 frames? And it's weird how that's a debate. I'm like, if I was playing a game, I want 60 frames a second. You know, I want it to be as smooth as possible, and in real life, you know. Like today's podcast might be a little glitchy from what I'm looking at, just because I think my computer's just a little worn down today. I don't know. It just looks like it's a little iffy to me. But anyway, back to the point.
Now, is PS4's frame rate change from 30 FPS to 60 FPS, or a max 30 FPS to a max 60 FPS?
It depends on the game and how it works. I liked what Total Biscuit had done a game review about, or not necessarily a review, but just kind of a look at of Far Cry 4. He did it through PC, but the PC,
that is a thing.
but the PC port and the PS4 port are very identical to each other. Just obviously, then keep in mind there's a lot of the more customization for computers, and he ran everything at top notch. And you notice how the game will go from 60 and cut down like on certain transitions. And this guy's got like a $3,000 to $4,000 computer, so I can tell you right now, it's not his computer.
That's ridiculous.
It's weird, but it's interesting to see, like, you know, and I don't know if it's just because there's perfectionists about, you know, hey, it has to stay at a constant 60, but I think it's something that with this next gen console, I think that's something that people are working on. They're working to try to get the how I should say frame rate to stay at a constant 60. And as games want to look better and better, you know, they got to draw a line and then eventually start working on optimization. So, for example, Assassin's Creed Unity, when that came out, wow, that was so bad. You know?
Well, I never played Unity.
I just had to see reviews on it, and I had to see videos about it. I didn't play it myself, but I could just tell. I saw people play on the PS4 port, on the PC port, and that was the main two mainly. But you can see when the game first came out, so many people were so upset because they said it was going to be an extremely high-res game. I mean, this game was already requiring you to have like a $600 GPU to run it. At least a minimal. Like the minimal of it was ranged at $600. I mean, unless you get it at like, I don't know, a random store for 200 used.
Yeah.
But
which is not a good idea, by the way.
No, it's not. It's not. Do not ever do that. Buy new equipment. But back to what I was saying.
Even sometimes when you buy new equipment, it's still defective.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, back to Unity.
Yeah. So, and it was funny because like people were complaining that they even had 10 frames a second when that game first launched. They had to launch a.
Ooh.
If I'm not mistaken, and if I'm wrong, I appreciate people in the comments to let me know and to tell me this. But I think it was in like the first week or the second week that they had to launch a patch to re-optimize it theoretically. Because that game was so bad. Like when people saw that, their first initial instinct was, well, this game's gonna suck because it's not optimized. If it's gonna take this much graphic power behind it, either there's a lot of great high definition content behind it, or it's just a terribly optimized game. I mean, I've played games that are so terribly optimized and are at such a low graphics resolution. The twist between each other is terrible. I'll take an indie game that I played, for example. There's a game, and I won't mention the name because I don't want to, but there's a game that I played that, in a nutshell, it was Minecraft graphics, and obviously my computer can run that perfectly. And
actually, on that subject, the game Minecraft is actually a lot more taxing on a computer than you might believe.
Yeah, it depends, because I mean you have to allocate your memory is what it is. And if you look, I like that in the updates they've gone more specific into those details, and it's really really cool to see that. There's if you look in there, there's they'll tell you like how much memory do you have allocated for this game that you know you can go up to that maximum, and then it might cause a lag to reimburse for some of the memory that you lose. And it's kind of cool to see that overall. So what you're saying, yeah, back to that, it's actually pretty phenomenal. Now obviously, no, it's not going to be the worst thing in the world, but you know, it depends on what you do. Be honest with you. I mean, if you run high-res texture packs and everything too, that's another thing to keep in mind as well. And it's kind of cool, to be honest with you. It's kind of cool. You know, amazing how Minecraft has moved along in such a ways over the years.
Oh yeah, I heard talk of a Minecraft 2 also after Microsoft bought the Minecraft company, whatever it's called.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah.
I
don't know if it's confirmed or anything, but I've heard a lot of rumors about like an official Minecraft 2 sequel.
Really? I did not know about that. It's well.
Are you looking that up right now?
No.
Oh.
Maybe.
Oh yeah, we should.
You have me
we
really
should get
curious.
back to our Dying Light conversation. We just kind of completely derailed from
well,
that.
we went on to like talk about zombies and stuff, and that's not terrible. But I was looking up that section. But yeah, Dying Light was back to that. We'll switch back to that. Let's see.
It's a game where you play as it's a your typical zombie survival game, except I think the setting is closely related to like Dead Island, in that it's not completely dark and scary all the time. Like it's like an urban environment that's been hit with the zombie virus. It's not like just like a Resident Evil where everything's always scary.
And this is for me, I loved watching that trailer. Mainly because that like explained to me what I was going to see in that game in the the 3 minutes, 4 minutes, whatever it was. You start out, you're this regular kid that's on the top of a rooftop, you're just doing nothing, you're just being casual, And then, of course, what happens? You gotta go run because something's chasing you, and it's a bunch of zombies. And then you notice that your best friend Johnny over there is dead because he was too slow. So you had to keep running, keep running, keep running. Then you save the butt of the other guy, and it was so cool to watch that because it's like it explains. It's like you're on your own, and you may want survivors, but you are on your own. You are surviving on your own butt for that. That is really cool. I'm really looking forward to trying to play that.
Yeah, that's the rule of thumb for every kind of chase scene, kids. You don't have to be faster than what you're running from. You just have to be faster than your friends.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be cool. I think it's got a lot of potential behind it. My thing is, and I just gotta make sure to watch a little bit later. But I just want them to not screw it up and make the trailer a lot better than the game. That's what drives me nuts. When people will put really so much time, and I mean so much time, into putting in the trailer to making people hyped about it, and then when it comes out and there's like barely anything to the game, then that's when people start getting absolutely ticked off, and that just drives me nuts personally. Let's see.
One of my favorite mechanics in the game is the daylight nighttime, where like during the daytime is basically your prep time because all of the daylight makes the zombies like super lethargic and like they walk really, really slow. And then when nighttime comes around, they all turn just outrageously hostile towards you.
Yeah.
And you survive based on how well you're able to prepare during the daytime.
Yeah, exactly. What game is that out right now? That's the same function.
I think it's called Grave or something like that.
I was thinking that, and then there was another game. There's another game that is out right now where it's stock up during the day. It's an indie game. It's on Steam.
Okay.
It's like shoot. When it comes to me, I'll let you know. But if you have what it is, put it down in the comments below. I'm actually kind of curious to know what exactly I'm saying about my own things. And I'm gonna jump back to us talking about when we were going with the indie versus PewDiePie event, and to transition a little bit into the YouTuber side. It's kind of interesting that apparently, what is it? Markiplier, Cinnamon Toast Ken, PewDiePie, then there's two other YouTubers, forgive me for not knowing them, that apparently are going to be playing on a mobile game over the course of the week, and the winner of this mobile game will get to donate.
Whoever levels up the most.
Yep, and whoever gets to level up the most gets to donate $25,000 to the charity of their choice, which is a really interesting thing to see that the YouTube community is starting to get the ball rolling about it. It's kind of cool to see that. So we had Markiplier does his monthly charity streams, which is awesome. I commend him for it a lot, and it's awesome that he gets to different topics, whether it was cancer research, to anything like what else? There's a lot of other things, and I just can't think of them at the current moment. Sorry. But it's cool. And then there was PewDiePie when he got to his charity streams. And it's cool to see that they're starting to give back. And it's something that I commend them greatly for. That is something that, to use your power right is great. And quite frankly, YouTubers are getting big. I don't know how long they're going to stay big, but they're getting big. It's coming to that point.
It's also a cool thing about the Best Fiends race to see who levels up is $25,000. I can't remember how, like the specifics, but whoever wins gets to donate $25,000 of their to a charity of their choice, and also $25,000 is being donated to, I think it's a specific charity.
Yeah. Okay. I remember what you're talking about. Yeah.
So it's a total of $50,000 donated because there's 25 automatically donated somewhere.
Gotcha.
In addition to the YouTuber's choice of $25,000.
It's awesome. It really is. It's great to see that this is going, and it's pretty awesome. So let's get into the news side of things. Let's start talking a little bit more news. We kind of talked about the games that we like to do. Let's get into transition to talk about some recent things that occurred. The first thing I want to talk about is Sony. This is about 2 weeks old now, but I kind of wanted to cover it now in case some people are just completely blind about it, which that's what the internet is sometimes. What I found interesting was what happened to Sony recently. If you don't know, on November 24th, they came into their office to discover that apparently their files had been hacked. According to what they say, Sony employees discovered terabytes of private data deleted from original copies from Sony computers and left messages threatening to release the information. It's interestingly enough, they are trying to connect this to North Korea. There's not enough proof behind it, but they're trying to connect this. Yeah, they're trying to connect it through North Korea. And it sounds weird, but this actually kind of makes sense. And hear me out on this before you just completely start putting in rage comments right now as well yourself. This is interesting. So you know the new movie that is coming out produced through Sony, correct? The Interview.
The Men in Black and 21 Jump Street crossover?
No. The Interview. It's the movie with I don't remember the two names, of course. But it's the movie that they have. Let's see if I have it in here. Let's see. I do not have the actors' names on here, but basically what it is they have this film that's coming out with these two people. Like, they've interviewed so many famous people before, and they booked an interview with Kim Jong-un, and the United States government, wants to have them kill Kim Jong-un with a lethal dose of poison. When they shake his hand, that basically is going to go to his body and kill him. Is, in a nutshell, is what it is. It was insane. So the rumor behind that, now they haven't found any information. These people are this group that they call themselves the hashtag GOP, and that's at first you laugh, but it was interesting. And I'll see if I can put it later in the video. But there's a picture of what happened to them. Basically, like, says that you've been hacked, like, by this people. There's actually a picture that was shown on their screens, allegedly, that apparently it was like, well, we warned you, so if you don't meet our demands, then we're gonna have to make this public.
Do all this stuff.
So let me read, because some people are kind of curious what exactly happened. So what exactly did it uncover? Well, according to I read online through Vox.com and CNET. So basically a conglomeration of those two articles. It shows that Sony's biggest earning executives, which are predominantly male, make more money than women do. For example, they show an example of like Jennifer Lawrence and someone else was in the movie American Hustle, and she earned 2% less of the profits than what their main actor. Of course, I didn't write down the name, so I don't remember.
It was Christian Bale and Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, that's what. Yep, thank you. They earned 9% of the profits. 7% was for Jennifer Lawrence, so 2% difference for there. And then to coincide with that topic, Amy Pascal, who's a co-chair of Sony Pictures Entertainment, is the only woman currently in the Sony industry earning $1 million or more at the studio. So that's I don't know necessarily if it's at the point of discrimination. I wouldn't know for sure. I mean, maybe it's just because maybe there's not a woman in the higher position of that, or maybe that's just because of how Sony pays that, you know?
I have mixed feelings about that, because normally you would be outraged at something like that, but I think it's still like that at every workplace.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing.
Why would it be an outrage if it's like that for big corporations too, if it's going to be like that for smaller corporations? Like, I think it's, I don't know if it's law, but I think it's still like a thing. Where women are all generally paid less than men.
That's the thing.
Which I'm not advocating that, but I just think that's how it is.
No. You're right. You're totally right. It's in the work society. I mean, you can't deny it. You can't deny it, straight up, because it's there. It's been there for years. It's gonna probably be there for more years. I mean, there's gonna be a point where it's almost gone, but there's always gonna be that one little side that always pops up to people, you know, and that's how society is. That's how, you know, at least in America, you know, I like to go visit other countries personally and like go there for a few months and just see how, you know, things work over there. I've always been kind of curious about that, to see what it'd be like to go to different countries and see, you know, are they facing what we're facing, or are they in a lot better of a position than we are? I've always been kind of curious about that. Personally, from a standpoint. Now, obviously, with us being economically the second largest in the world, not first anymore, thanks to China's wonderful people. But we don't talk economics on here.
I was going to say there's a lot of things we could go into with that.
Oh my gosh. So here's
Anyway.
another section. So according to this, it actually showed emails revealed from producer Scott Rudin that he calls Angelina Jolie a, quote, minimally talented, spoiled brat in an email exchange with Pascal, which again was the co-chair of Sony Pictures Entertainment. And there's another one that I found kind of entertaining. They called Kevin Hart a whore.
Really?
Yeah, it's in quotes that they found that, and it's interesting that it's interesting. I don't know, like, it feels weird about that, but anyway, so here's another thing that really this one like really struck me as like a very shopping statement. Shocking. It showed records of about 36 employees' medical records, alongside with their family members, and especially, it shows one internal memo that it was the member's child with special needs and with this type of treatment, and its employees' appeal of insurance provider to, I won't name the company, denials of thousands of dollars in medical claims. So they have medical information about at least, I mean, I don't know how many they actually have, but what they grabbed was 36 or so employees. That's ridiculous. To have the
Now, is this saying that the people who hacked in now have the medical information?
That's the thing.
Or is
That's
it shocking that Sony had the medical information? I feel
that's
like
the thing
Sony
that I'm
should
really,
have that.
really kind of struck about, because they technically have it. This is what they hacked out of it and made public.
So the people who hacked into it obtain. It's bad that the people who hacked obtain the information.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
but it's also
I
weird. But it's also weird too to notice that Sony would contain those type of records through that. I mean,
Why would they not?
well, let's think. Well, do you want detailed information about everything that you ever done, medical history wise, given to your corporate? Do you want them to have every single piece of information about your medical history from that point?
If they're going to be paying for your medical insurance, like I know a company like Sony is going to do, then like why not?
You strike. Actually, I'll be honest. You strike a very good point that I actually never came across. Thank you for pointing that out. See, I don't always condone, or I don't always condone criticism. I don't always.
That's why I never really understood why this point was a big deal, because it kind of shifted.
Well, to the point that it got
the
hacked,
point
I guess.
Yeah, it kind of made it sound like it was bad that Sony had the information, but what's really bad is that the hackers obtained the information.
This was also some of these ones are so weird. Sony executives discussed a new Men in Black film featuring characters from the company's 21 Jump Street property and a deal with Disney Marvel Studios so Spider-Man could make an appearance in the upcoming Captain America Civil War. So put 21 Jump Street mixed together with Men in Black and then put Captain America with Spider-Man together. What?
Well, I don't really understand that one that much, because although I love Men in Black, I have actually never seen 21 Jump Street. And I don't think it's that like. Given that I've read a lot of Marvel comics, so I don't think it's that outlandish for Spider-Man to appear in a Captain America movie.
Let me put it like this. I think that 21 Jump Street sort of had a taste of Men in Black. It was a lot more of a comedic side to it. I've watched the film. It's got Channing Tatum, Jonah Hill starring it, and
That's the only thing I knew about it, was that it had Jonah Hill in it.
Mm-hmm. They're a very funny combo. They were undercover cops, which is, I guess, very loosely like in Men in Black. But what I would think that, and I don't know if it was because they translated it differently. I wonder if it maybe was because of the fallacy of the article as well. I wonder if they mean like they're going to make a concept of putting 21 Jump Street and Men in Black together, but I mean the Captain America and the Spider-Man.
They're using the characters.
I mean that would seem weird.
I've seen pictures of the Men in Black characters with the 21 Jump Street characters.
I don't know, like for me that would just not make sense. I mean, it's a great movie in itself. It's a great movie in itself. Put them together, what are you doing? Sometimes, I mean, if you can glide it perfectly, I mean that's the only thing. If you can glide it perfectly, you're okay. I'm not gonna be upset about it. But the one thing I actually kind of laughed at was the next James Bond movie, which is called Spectre, is over budget by, guess this, $50 million, and already is expected to cost $50 million more than the previous Bond film Skyfall. So they're not even done spending everything yet, but they're already 50 million over budget. And I don't know if it's just because of Sony not caring or it's just someone really screwed up on their budgeting.
Well, apparently James Bond movies are just not cheap.
Yeah,
They better sell a lot of tickets.
it's gonna be interesting to see if it actually like tanks. That would hurt so much because I mean, if you're already 50 million over budget, something occurred, and that's gonna be pretty interesting. But yeah, I was overall just it was crazy to see what exactly it was behind it, and I'll leave the links in the description if you want to read the articles yourself, how it happened and what exactly it was talked about. I pretty much covered what it was said in one of the articles, but the other one I encourage you to go and take a look at for sure in of yourself. And I mean that's what I've got for my part of the news. Yaddy, do you have something that you'd like to share with us?
I do. However, we are approaching a however long half-hour mark.
I usually do like 30 to 45 minutes. It could be an hour.
Oh, okay. We can do that.
There's people that do podcasts for like 6 hours. I don't care.
Oh, yeah, we can do that.
Take as much time as you want, sir. I'm just going to sip some water while you tell a story.
And news about Super Smash Brothers. Apparently, the creator of Super Smash Brothers, his name is Masahiro Sakurai, is apparently going to... He's kind of has mixed thing. I think he's a little bit torn on this, but he announced that he doesn't want to do any more Super Smash sequels. But he also said that when he created, or I guess not created, when he helped develop Super Smash Bros. Melee and Super Smash Bros. Brawl, they were both intended to be the last game of the series. So he has said he kind of feels burned out on the series, but he can't positively declare that there won't be another Super Smash game.
Right.
But the reason he wants to stop is because the game is very, 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 very development heavy. Mm-hmm. So it takes a lot of time and energy to help to develop this game. And apparently he had an injury while trying to develop it.
Oh, really?
All it says like on the article, it says he's an extremely hands-on director who actually hurt his arm quite badly through overwork during the Smash Bros. Development process.
Huh.
It doesn't say if it was like a one-time, like a sudden injury, or if it was due to like a carpal tunnel syndrome type deal. But a lot of his concerns with the development of the game is that people have such high, I guess, expectations of the game that in order to make another game and not have it cost too much or too much
have
time
a
or
tank
anything
and
like
have
that.
everybody get ticked off at you. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't want to, in order to make another game realistically within his own, so that it doesn't basically kill him through overwork, he would have to take away characters or take away game modes or take away something so that he can create a new game within realistic expectations, and he doesn't want to do that because he doesn't want to disappoint the gaming community, because
Right.
one of his big points is that he always wants to give the gamers exactly what they want.
I'm actually kind of curious about this. That I wonder when they officially started the development of the next Super Smash Bros. Because
It was about 4 years ago.
so it was.
I don't
so it
know
was,
the date though.
Okay, and the Super Smash Bros. Brawl released in 2007, wasn't it? 2007 or 2008. So
I
that makes
remember the
sense. So
exact
4
year.
years into development. I mean, it's true. It's very true. I mean, if you go behind it, you know, to keep the game as it was and to make it better and better every single time, it gets really hard to do. And when you make something that successful and not have a bad game, which is somehow it just blows my mind.
Yeah.
You know, I give immense props to this guy. I really do. He made a fantastic series. You know, obviously there's some people that'll show this argument that like, well, this game wasn't that legit because all it was fighting in 2D platform with 3D characters. Well, you see, the thing is,
that's like almost all fighting games right there, though.
yeah, and a lot of people are like, well, there's no strategy behind it. I mean, you know,
That is
There's-
not true.
yeah, that's the funny thing. You and I are avid Smash players. I mean, we can just say that right now. And I don't mind seeing another Super Smash Bros. I would love to, but you know, he makes a good point. I mean, if you can't make a game because it is literally to the point that it is killing you, I would go against it because I'd just say, you know what, You gave us what you wanted. You're making millions of copies of every game. You're making so much money off of this. I mean, in a sense, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I think this is one of the major contributions why people stopped laughing at Nintendo recently. I mean, that's got to be true. I mean, as soon as the Wii U came out, a lot of the more adult titles, a lot of the more mature titles walked away from them, stayed to the PC side, to the PS4, to the Xbox One side. The Wii U decided, well, we're just going to stay over with our side and work with that. So I thought that was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
That, you know, that, and it's true. Let's face fact, the Nintendo Wii probably had a little bit of contribution to it. I don't know if it did as much, to be honest with you, but, you know, overall, I think that this has got a lot of potential behind it, to see what happens in the future. And this might be a publicity stunt. I mean, it could very well be possible as well. I mean, and it's interesting too, like going back to my topic about the Sony hacks, is I really wonder if sometimes when a company gets hacked and there's weird rumors, like the entertainment side of things, when I was talking about James Bond movie and stuff, I actually really wonder if that was intentional, that wasn't as well protected. So if someone hacked, they could actually have something that people would look forward to and just be like, oh my gosh, there's something that's there. Oh, I gotta check this out. Oh, this is awesome. I mean, it's a really weird publicity stunt. Now, I'm not saying what happened to Sony was a publicity stunt, but it was kind of interesting. I wonder if that actually happens. You know, which companies actually had that happen to them, where they intentionally leaked certain things to make it sound better and get more publicity for free, if I could add that. So I'm curious.
I don't know. It's hard to tell, because the way he talks about it is he seems very torn, because he doesn't know if he wants to make like an heir for the Super Smash Brothers franchise, because
I mean, I guess that's in Nintendo's hands theoretically, you know. I mean,
but he doesn't know if Nintendo is going to be able to deliver on the game like he views it should be delivered. So I think that's another reason why he's torn on it, is he doesn't know if anybody else would do as well with the series, even if it is the company Nintendo.
I mean, we all do know that Nintendo still has its screw up moments, and you know, I think,
oh god, there's a lot of those.
yeah, no joke. But it was interesting just to see overall, you know, everything that had occurred, and I don't know, it was pretty awesome overall. So I think that we got what we need. That's okay. It's totally tongue-tied there. I think we got what we needed to cover today, Yeti. Thank you so much for joining again today. As always, you're my co-host. I don't know why I have to thank you for coming here. I mean, you're just kind of there. So there's going to be a special guest next week. I do not have the person to say, at least yet, to you. I probably have him in mind, though. So keep in mind, keep ready for next Tuesday. Noon, again, is the whole time. I'm on Christmas break, so things should be starting to go, a lot quicker. And it's going to be pretty awesome overall. So if you have not joined in our Steam community, steamcommunity.com/JayCast, or I believe there's going to be a wire link to send you down over there to come and join. It's an open discussion. You can post whatever you need to. You can talk with other people. You can communicate with the other community members, talk about the recent podcasts and everything else. And as usuals, you know, check out our social medias and everything, and check out Yeti's YouTube channel if you haven't already. So thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Thanks again, Yeti, for joining. And I'm Jay, wishing you a wonderful day.